Well, there's absolutely no doubt that Secret Wars is going to be Marvel Studios' biggest project ever. And although not a lot of official news has come out of Marvel, we have been getting all kinds of really interesting reports about the upcoming movie, including the main villain, some of Kang's variants, and some very cool team-ups that are going to happen in this film. Let's dive into all the reports. Well, we all know Secret Wars will be closing out Phase 6 of the MCU, but details are pretty scant from Marvel Studios. But over the weekend, we got multiple reports on the feature, and I wanted to sit down and talk about them for a couple of minutes. These reports include a big reveal on the main villain of Secret Wars, talk of more of Kang's variants, and some very cool team-ups going back deep into Marvel movie history. Now, before we dive into this, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We want to be your place for all the Secret Wars and Marvel news, and we're going to go out of our way to make sure you know the truth and reality of everything that's going on. Well, like we were saying, there's a lot going on with Secret Wars over this past weekend, and we got so many reports, I thought we could just combine them all into one video. Secret Wars is going to be one of Marvel's biggest projects ever, and clearly the ambitious nature of this story is going to create something special. Now, I want to be clear though, coming out of the gate, all of this news comes from Scooper, My Time to Shine Hello. So none of it is coming from Marvel Studios or Kevin Feige himself, so we want to take it with a grain of salt and be very transparent about what level of news this actually is. So let's start out with who the villain of the upcoming Secret Wars movie is going to be. Now, as many of you know, Secret Wars is going to follow the Kang Dynasty, which makes it pretty clear Earth's mightiest heroes will be facing off against Kang the Conqueror and many of his variants. But we don't know a lot about Secret Wars. There's been some speculation even on this channel. Now, if you're familiar with Secret Wars in the comics, you probably know there have been some pretty clear villains, most of which don't seem to be available in the MCU. The first one saw the Beyonder abduct heroes and villains from Earth, then have them face off for him to try to figure out who was better, good or evil. The second film, which seemed to be more aligned with what's going on in the MCU, had an incursion that ended with Doctor Doom ruling over an amalgamation of realities from across the multiverse, creating a new, twisted world and kind of hitting a soft reset on Marvel Comics. Many fans have been wondering how Marvel Studios is going to handle this, and we have speculated Marvel will be borrowing from both stories. Now, apparently, according to My Time to Shine, the villain for Secret Wars will indeed be the Beyonder. But this will be a Beyonder with a twist. In the comics, the character originally hails from beyond the Marvel multiverse, from a place called the Beyond Realm, and basically is the sum of everything outside of that. This entity became self-aware and formed a being of immense power known as the Beyonder, and in the comics is as much mankind's threat as it could be the savior. He is a very interesting character. Now, the MCU is going in a completely different direction here, because apparently the MCU version of the Beyonder will be a Kang the Conqueror variant and will be played by Jonathan Majors. Now, this is a really interesting twist on the character of the Beyonder, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm really unsure how I feel about it. The Beyonder's impact on Marvel Comics is very interesting, and I'm not really sure how they will put this move in play. Now, it does feel appropriate to end the multiverse saga facing off with a variant. I'm okay with that. It's just quite the change. It's quite obvious that the Kang Dynasty will probably end with Kang's defeat, but will likely give us a snap-level cliffhanger leading us right into Secret Wars, so it makes a lot of sense that it would be about variants. Now, this isn't the only variant we're hearing about either, and I think these variants are going to play a big role in a lot of the upcoming Marvel movies. We've met the very first Kang the Conqueror variant in Loki's season finale in the form of He Who Remains. Now, in the series, he was the master of the TVA and guarding the sacred timeline, and made it pretty clear when he died, his variants were going to be much more difficult to deal with. Now, as you know, the finale ended with a timeline where a Kang variant was openly in charge of the TVA, and everybody had forgotten who Loki was. We're going to pick up next month following Kang in Quantumania, so clearly his future is very ingrained in the MCU. Now, Marvel Studios has missed a couple of chances to add variants of Kang throughout the last couple of series, most notably Rama Tut in Moon Knight. But characters like the Scarlet Centurion, Victor Timely, Iron Lad, Nathaniel Richardson, and even Doom the Annihilating Conqueror are all variants of Kang, and they all very likely could show up in the MCU. Now, despite all this, Majors is actually only confirmed to be in Kang Dynasty, but Marvel likes to play their cards close. And we definitely have a feeling that a few surprises and cameos are being planned. Actually, recently, Jonathan Majors himself talked to Nerd Bunker, and the actor shared a little bit of his hopes for the time-traveling villain. He actually said, I think with Kang, my objective with every role I play is to make them as universal and as human as possible. I think we'd be lucky, for the next phases to have a big bad that allows the audiences to oscillate between cheering and booing. What Josh Brolin did so beautifully with Thanos was that he tried to make him as three-dimensional as possible to make it very clear, and he really believed in it. Which is why I think it was so morally ambiguous as to how bad he is. And I also think the word villain, and the more anti-hero you are, the deeper your constitution has to be. It's pretty clear Majors has some great insight into playing a villain, and I really do think he's going to nail this role, and I'm totally looking forward to seeing how he brings Kang to life in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, the deluge of news from No Time to Shine has mostly been about Kang, but then he did drop some major teases about Secret Wars and what possibly could happen and who we'll see in it. Now, there have been quite a few rumors relating to both movies, and it seems like Kevin Feige might be reaching into the past to provide some team-ups fans wanted to see in previous incarnations and never got. We know Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine, and apparently he might very well be appearing in Secret Wars alongside Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. This would be a major big deal, and honestly something pretty funny considering Spider-Man appeared in the outtakes of the original X-Men movie. This actually happened in the shooting of the first movie, where Maguire was shooting Spider-Man nearby. Let's go ahead and check a piece of that out.
Wait! I am completely in the wrong movie. I am so sorry.
Yeah, this team up really would have made a lot of sense, and I totally love this old footage. It's something special, and the fact that they're reaching into the past to pull some of these characters forward is a great indicator of what they may have planned for Secret Wars. Now, the Scooper does go on to share some plot details about Secret Wars, and it does provide some separation between Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Apparently, the new Kang Dynasty film will focus on new Avengers, the new team coming together to take on Kang. Where Secret Wars will mostly be from the point of view and will focus on heroes from other universes. This is where a lot of those new heroes introduced in things like What If, or some of the multiverse adventures we're going through now, and possibly the past of Marvel Universe all start to show up. Films like the 2005 Fantastic Four or the Fox-era X-Men are all rumored, and this might be exactly where they fit in. Now, as far as my opinion on all of these rumors, I have to say, some of them sound a little far-fetched, and we're mostly looking to My Time to Shine Hello's track record to avoid an out-and-out dismissal. I think we should approach these with a level of skepticism that keeps our heads on straight. Obviously, these are big details, and they very well might be true, but we do always want to point out that it's not from Kevin Feige or Marvel Studios, so we have to take it with a huge grain of salt. Unfortunately, Kevin Feige is not like James Gunn, taking the Twitter crushing false reports. I think he actually likes to fuel some of these to test out ideas with fans, and this particular project is in such early levels of development that might be exactly what's going on. Secret Wars is likely to be Marvel Studios' biggest movie ever, but in order for them to make that happen, they gotta beat Endgame, and that means a lot of these cameos like Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman will help drive that box office return. Fans have been hopeful for many of these characters to return once again. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were part of the last Spider-Man movie, and we know Hugh Jackman is part of Deadpool 3. So it seems like Marvel is not shying away from these past franchises, so we might have some really big surprises in store. I think Deadpool 3 might give us a taste of this early on, but we're going to have to wait for Secret Wars to get all the answers. Now, obviously, we're covering everything Secret Wars, Marvel Studios, and Kang the Conqueror going forward. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of your multiverse updates. But until we know more, what do you guys think? What do you think about Kang the Conqueror being the Beyonder in Secret Wars? And what two characters would you like to see team up from Marvel's past movies? Honestly, Maguire and Jackman are about as good as it gets. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.